intro, shop intro, shop intro. Well, we're moving to the shop today. We get a help. You can see Toyota truck here, Kyle's truck. Kyle's the one that sunk his black truck on one video. And I got Paul and Hayden and Whitney here. We're just gonna get the Jeep loaded onto the trailer here and we'll get moving from there. I just wanted to say this is the start of moving into the shop. Okay guys, we're just getting the shop set up here and this storm is rolling in. This is crazy. Quite frequently get storms like this. This is kind of our big first storm of the year, like this one. And this is nuts. This one's got a lot of color, a lot of potential power. I actually hid the wife's car into the garage, into the shop for now, because that's nuts. That's absolutely crazy. But yeah, like, just look at the power. Look at the shelves on that thing. And that's just the first front of it. Apparently there's a whole eye of the storm behind this yet, which is crazy. Like this spans, like it's 50 miles wide or more. And it's moving fast. Oh, it's moving super fast. It's covered, like they said an hour ago it was in Edmonton.
Well, I left Minburn about an hour ago and it was just coming into this thing.
And it really wasn't that long ago and it was for the most part blue skies. So let's see if I can get some of the lightning. We're in the lightning phase. And then like I said, I'll try and, there's a picture of somebody had posted of the storm front coming, and this thing, like, it's massive. That's easily a 200-300 foot tall shelf. Clouds are playing a lot right now. Oh, there we go. Joe, we're only standing near all of the metal.
Oh, we're good.
We're grounded. And like guys, I'm telling you, it is lots of room in here. So much room for activities. We got a huge overhead door, huge. I backed Rexus right up, basically into the shop with it on the trailer, and it still wasn't even close. Like, I'm kidding you not, guys. This is exactly what we needed to do anything we want. So I'm gonna go pick up the enclosed trailer so I can bring my tools over. And then we can hopefully get started on the Jeep today, but I'll be back soon. Well, fuck. So this is my message to you, Dodge. It's time to step your fucking shit up when even your Hellcat lifters fucking fail. Well, we are Monday of the long weekend here, so if this comes out a month later, I'm sorry. Just working on getting the front clip off the Jeep. Got the bumper off, got the crash beam off, the upper rad support, got all the accessories disconnected. We're just bleeding off the coolant system. Technically you're supposed to do it to a proper means, but I don't have that, so we're just evacuating it through the fitting. And I guess we'll have to take it for, obviously, for a recharge when we put it all back together, but that's okay. Things are going pretty smooth. There's nothing really complicated. It's a newer vehicle. Took me a little bit to figure out how not to bust up the bumper. Obviously fresh paint on the bumper, so I wanted to make sure that the bumper didn't take damage. One nick in the paint, and not nick, bend in the paint, more of the plastic. So we're making good headway here. We're just letting some air into the garage because this stuff is an asphyxiant and it will knock you out, and I don't imagine it's good for the lungs. So we will chat soon as this bleeds off. Well, We're at a pretty good point now. I can access the front of the motor. The whole front clip is off. I'd never expected to have to do this on the Jeep, but here we are. Less than a year later that somebody else did it for me. So we're cruising along fairly well here. We're got to get the crank pulley off. We're going to start pulling accessories off and then marking them. And yeah, it should go fairly smooth. We got the power steering pump still hooked up, kind of. Actually got a brand new line on it earlier this year, so I'm hoping that survives. We're going to drain the engine oil because it needs to be drained anyway before we go too far. And we're going to start coming up with a game plan to get the block. I don't really feel like going underneath unless I have to. There's a lot of coolant under there now. And yeah, it's not very much fun. But you can tell we are making progress. The front clip came out way easier than I expected. It's got a very large AC condenser, a very small power steering cooler. It does not look like it has a transmission cooler, which is a little bizarre. So I'm going to look into that, see if somebody does sell a transmission cooler or if it's even a problem. I know it's not towing, but it's still kind of a nice to have. That said, it is moving along fairly smooth. I've got my AC lines taped off. I got my AC condenser end plates taped off. I highly suggest if you're ever pulling a motor to do that, or you will be stuck in a whole world of pain. So we're moving along, and hopefully we can get this crank pulley off. I might have to go borrow a 110 volt electric impact. They tend to pull these crank pulley bolts off a lot easier. I don't have sufficient air, and the ratchet I got, or the impact I got, isn't strong enough. So likely I'm going to pull all the accessories off. It's going to make my life easier, and I say easier because it is much easier to pull it than to much easier to pull it that way than, you know, all these things hanging off of it. The front timing plate cover and everything's gonna be off because I'm trying to get to the cam today so I can take a look at the damage on the cam. Yeah, we need all new lifters anyway. I'm likely looking at the comp cams lifters or just going back to the Dodge style lifters. Guys have had pretty good success with them. Anyways, talk to you soon. So I wanted to talk quickly about the crank pulley bolt. Lots of people just switch to air. It's a 21 mil. There's a lot of thread to it. It's a really good condition. I'm probably going to look into the ARP one. But lots will try and use their Milwaukees, their big boys, their small boys, the air. I've always found these 110, 100% duty impacts always get them off. Like, there's no question about it. It just pulls it right off. So if you're ever lost on how to get a crank pulley bolt off, highly suggest investing in one of these 110 half-inch impacts. I've seen them pull some stuff that you just blows your mind. I'm going to work on getting this pulley off, this crank pulley off. Once I do that, I'm actually going to be able to get this timing cover off pretty simply. Looks like pull the water pump, and then once you pull the water pump, you pull all these other bolts here. Looks like the AC compressor is going to have to come off, but that's fine. And the alternator does look like it will have to come off too. Not a huge ordeal. I'm already there. I want to pull that stuff off anyway to get this removed, so that's going to be one step easier. I'm going to have some more coolant lines to disconnect. I didn't know what this T was for, but it's for the factory oil cooler. A little tiny oil cooler in there, and you can see I ran a Wix XP filter. It's the same as the Mopar. I do run the SRT Viper filter normally if they're in stock. Anyways, I will chat with you guys soon. I'm gonna keep going. I'm sorry I'm not really showing much of the actual process, guys. It's kind of, I'm by myself. I'm trying to get as much of this done as I can because I got to try and get this motor out so we can get an assessment of what's going to happen. And then I got to decide if I'm going to move this to the shop that I'm looking at renting. Okay, so I talked about getting this harmonic balancer off on this SRT motor. There's a splash guard in here, but they're threaded holes in each. So I ended up grabbing, it looks like a steering wheel puller, but it's actually a harmonic balancer puller kit. You can look up that part number. It should probably be at Harbor Freight, Princess Auto. I'm making progress. You just want to be slow, guys. And it's out for the most part. Just like that. So we got this off. I probably should have put, so we're going to want to just clean that up a hair. It pushed into the crank a little more than I'd like, but it got it off. It doesn't look like it's the first time. It was probably off just a hair. I didn't want to go, I was hoping to just use the rods, the push rods that they have, but I don't like to pull against the threads. Some people like to put the bolts in and pull, but yeah, it doesn't work. So we're off. So now we can actually move forward, get the water pump off, get the alternator off, get the compressor off, and then we should, barring any issues, we actually should be able to get this cam out. It looks like I got a couple bolts probably to pull here that are going to allow the front cover, because they'll be tied into the front cover, but pull off the water pump. This is the front of an SRT motor, guys. I might have the front cover powder coated. I don't know yet. It's a part. It's kind of one of those things that's not hard to do. Do I get it powder coated the same orange? Do I do it red? Do I go full custom? Let me know in the comments below. I'm still gonna have time. I'm gonna try and get this video up as soon as possible, because lots of people are finding out that the Jeep is down. Just looking after you. Don't you feel like I'm cleaning the screen? I'm wiping away, casting away the COVID. Be gone, COVID. Be gone. Anyways, back to business. For the most part, getting the blocks out gonna be pretty easy now. I gotta uncouple the transmission, and I have to get underneath because I have to separate the transmission and the fucking torque converter and the I wonder if I could get the torque converter out with it. That's dangerous. Anyways, it's out, cam's off, oil pump's out, still bolted on. We definitely did some damage on that lobe. So it's only just that lobe, guys. Everything else is perfect. Like, honestly, like, we followed the oil break-in guidelines, everything. The whole cam is perfect. Pretty similar to how an LS goes together. Their front cover is massive. It's got some water channels on it attached to it. AC, all the accessories bolt to the front cover on this HEMI. So oil looked good. I don't know what to say. I really don't want to blame anybody. I wiped the cam. I didn't blow up a 6.4. Thankfully. Well, actually not. Whatever. It's done. It's done. It's broken. We'll have to order some parts. Hopefully Texas Speed steps up and covers some stuff. Anyways, guys, take care. I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully it's on reassembly. Maybe clean up. Maybe machine work. I don't know. I think we're still going to forge it. Hey guys, thanks for making it through that one. I know it took a little longer than it should have, and there wasn't much content. That said, we are into full force. We're moved into the shop. I do have the engine out. The machine work's being done. And I have 2 more videos coming from Crow's Nest Pass, so please stay tuned. Please forgive me for this one. I'll chat with you guys on the next one.